Now Africa's been sleeping, not dead, only sleeping. Today Africa's walking around not only on her feet, but on her brains. You can enslave as was done for 300 years the bodies of men. You can shackle the hands of men. You can shackle the feet of men. You can imprison the bodies of men, but you cannot shackle or imprison the minds of men.
In that convention in 1919, it was resolved that black people, this is the symbol of a flag, with sovereignty of the black race. And Marcus Garvey was also elected in that convention as a provisional president of Africa. You see some of the soil. At the same time, you will also remember Ethiopia was the only African country that was never colonized by Europeans. It was invaded. They tried, Mussolini invaded Ethiopia, but Europeans were crushed. Italians were defeated in the Battle of Adwa is another battle or Emperor Menelik before Haile Selassie. Emperor Menelik defeated the Italians. Esilwa imfazwe together with Nkosikazi wakhe, Queen Taitu, Empress Taitu, you see, and they crushed the Italians. Ethiopia had a flag, which is the flag is against Marasta, the red, gold, and green, you see, with the symbol of the lion. The red stands for the blood of our forefathers, our ancestors, you see, in the Genesis. The red symbolizes Ika's local community which has been shed through centuries of warfare, engaged in warfare against Europeans. And then the gold symbolizes the mineral wealth of our people, the gold, the platinum, the diamonds, uranium, and all the wealth underneath, you see, umhlaba wethu. And then the green stands for the land of African people, you see. In the flag, it's the same. The red is for the blood of our ancestors. The black is for the black race, the African people. And the green stands for the land, Africa. You see in some of the soil. Yes, sir. So see, it's the blood, the people, the land. When we explain these colors, you see. And these are the global colors, as I'm saying, worldwide, throughout the world. These colors are used by the Pan-Africanist movement, black consciousness movement throughout the world. They use these colors as a symbol of a struggle, say, to an analysis, you see. This flag, it carries our history. At the same time, it carries our mandate. You see, what we are all about as African people. You see, generation after the other, you see. So, yeah, this is our flag, man, given to us by the great Honorable Marcus Garvey. You see, and all the liberation movements, starting, for example, ANC is the oldest liberation movement, political party. Starting with the U.N.I.A, they adopted these colors, you see, because most of the people within even the ANC were influenced by Garvey and Garveyism. Those are people who actually met with Marcus Garvey in person. They used to attend some of the conventions with Marcus Garvey, you see. These people, you know, and a lot of leadership, the ANC, the first leaders of the ANC that emerged were influenced by Garveyism, the ideas of Marcus Garvey, the Back to Africa movement, the ideas of Africa for the Africans. You see, hence his slogan, Zabuza City, Maibuye, the Africa. You see, when the son of the soil, and all of those things. You see, the return of the land, you know, the return of Africa to its rightful owners. You see, those were Garveyites, some of those people, you see. See, the dynamics, those issues, let alone those were the people who were the so-called intellectuals, the converts, the recent converts to European Christianity, educated, you know, those are the people who were prepared to be a black elite, the middle class, that was, you know, created by white supremacy, you know, to serve the interests of, you see, because they actually knew that a time would come when they would need to hand over to these black people. But they needed to hand over to Abanda Bamnyama, who had been prepared to rule, to serve white supremacy. You see, son of the soil. Yeah. But just to explain, man, EPAC themselves, the same colors the PAC use, same colors ANC use, same colors of Jomo Kenyatta use in the flag yakoma Kenya. Kwame Nkrumah's flag is the flag of Ethiopia, the red, gold and green. You see, the blood, the wealth, the land, and it's got the symbol of the black star. Black star Marcus Garvey. Nkrumah says it himself that he was greatly, largely influenced by Marcus Garvey. You see.
And that black star represents the black star line.
Yes, that black star symbolizes the black star line of Marcus Garvey. Even the club the soccer team because the black stars, you see. It comes from the black star line of Marcus Garvey. What was the black star line? The black star line was a company that Marcus Garvey formed, actually. And it was these steamships that Marcus Garvey bought, because Garvey saw that white people had their own airlines, their own planes, their own boats, transporting systems and all of that, and he said that black people, we needed to have our own, you see, and he invested money, he raised funds, and he bought a fleet of U.N.I.A, a fleet of ships, you see, which were called by different names, but the company itself was known as the Black Star Line, you see, in Son of the Soil. So in Zamuguti, and he raised lots of funds, built many companies, many organizations and businesses for Abandawa Mnyama owned by black people. You see, poor black people. Garvey made an army of even ordinary laymen. You see, uneducated men. He gave them uniforms, created uniforms. The army created an army. You see, the African legions. That's what it was called. You see, and when they used to march Harlem and throughout America, the African legions used to terrify white supremacists. And this was around the Zimbabwe siege, 1914s, 1915s, 16s. That's the era that we're talking about. So I'm just trying to say, you can imagine the position of Abandawa Mnyama at that time, how oppressed we were by white people in the world. You see, and the courage it must have taken for Abandawa Mnyama to do the work that they were doing in that time. The environment, but they go, you see.
Okay. James is man like Malcom X, Stokely Kankai, the Venezuelan power movement.
Yes.
Bunagama Africa, America,
yes.
And the army like Cascade, since Somali 14s, 1914s, January 16s, 1915.
Yes.
And he appeared up like a figure and Stokely Kankai.
True. No, in Leo, Son of the Soul, that's a good question. In Leo,
Black Panther.
Yes. EFBI, Son of the Soil, was founded by a man called J. Edgar Hoover. You see, was deployed by CIA, and the EFBI, yes, America, was established solely for Marcus Garvey. It was founded to investigate Marcus Garvey, the first person who was ever investigated by the FBI. Its first project, FBI, to say they are investigating someone in America. It was Marcus Garvey and U.N.I.A. And the FBI deployed its agents within U.N.I.A. If you study the history of U.N.I.A. and the fall of Marcus Garvey, what happened to Marcus Garvey and how U.N.I.A. was destroyed, it was infiltrated by agents, which were sent in by J. Edgar Hoover and the FBI agents, who went inside the organization into positions of power in the organization when a Son of the Soil. And those are the very same people who then betrayed Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey, why he contravened some tax laws, some postage laws and younger law, but he made a scheme, you see, raising funds for Black Star Line, you see. But in all of that process, Garvey was betrayed by people he trusted, close people, close friends of his, close people who were in leadership positions within the U.N.I.A, within the Black Star Liner steamship itself. You see, and all the other organizations, U.N.I.A is built in the Son of the Soil. Marcus Garvey ended up being literally deported out of America and sent back to Jamaica. And when Garvey was removed, the momentum dropped. You see, the leadership was taken, the movement was totally destabilized. You see, by the time Garvey died in 1940, U.N.I.A momentum had totally dissipated and gone down. Agents, America, white supremacy, and made sure that they suppress Garveyism. And it was not only suppressed in America, Garveyism, by FBI. The FBI were communicating with the young smarts during that time. As I'm saying, but Garveyism was influencing abantu, other Africans, even from the continent. At Azania, we had people who were going abroad to go and study there. They met the ideas of Marcus Garvey when they reached there. You see, I think that was one of the reasons why University of Fort Hare, college was formed in itself. You see, to stop the momentum of Africans who are going abroad to go and learn, and then when they go abroad to go and study, they meet these radical ideas, the African nationalism. You see, in order to stop that, then they decided they must create a domestic institutions that's called inside the country, so that these Africans don't go out. Then they are able to create the black middle class before we create a son of the soil. But you know, what destroyed U.N.I.A together with the armies, Marcus Garvey and Marcus Garvey, was infiltration by white supremacy. This very same infiltration is what happened because after Garvey, Black Panthers. But if you know the story of the Black Panthers, how Huey P. Newton, or J. O. Lenduga, or Bobby Seale, and all these brothers who formed the Black Panther Party. Black Panther Party was destroyed in the very same way through a program that was a FBI program, what's called COINTELPRO, Counter-Intelligence Program. Counter-intelligence program, COINTELPRO, is a program that destroyed the Black Panther Party. It was infiltrated, they put drugs inside it, and they destroyed the movement completely. You see, son of the soil. It's the very same thing they did to U.N.I.A, and it's the very same thing that was employed with Pan-Africanist Congress of Azania, 1990s. You see, the killing of the leaders, the PAC, assassinating the radical leaders through accidents, through, poisoning, you see, because all prof were poisoned inside, all Mutupeng were poisoned inside, you see, through Uchawena, son of the soil, or Masemula's accident, assassination by accident, Sabelo Pama assassinations by accidents, and the list goes on when Anyana sees you see, killing the radical elements, and then entering inside the organization, making sure that the organization does not fulfill its objectives, its mandate, you see, of reclaiming the land, you see. So, this pattern, confusion, so-called factionalism within PAC, it's nothing new within the Pan-Africanist movement globally. You see, and Malcom X history is best qualified to reward all our research. So if you want to understand what is going on today, even within our own movement, PAC, you see, black consciousness movement, the Azapo, why are they so seemingly irrelevant? No, it's not that they are irrelevant, son of this way. They are very much relevant. You see, but there is a deliberate plan, a clandestine plan to make sure those organizations don't find ground in the country. You see, there are people who are deployed within these radical organizations. There are people who are deployed within Azabo, Black Consciousness Movement, PAC, Azania, to make sure that those organizations, they don't change the status quo. You see, in son of the soil. And as I'm saying, from the times of Marcus Garvey, this has been what white supremacy does. I don't be in China, you see.
Black Panther Party.
Okay. The Black Panther Party, Noble Daughter, it's a movement that was founded in the States in the 60s by black brothers and sisters. Ukona or Malcom X, Ukona or Martin Luther King, it's a civil rights movement. You will remember that Malcolm X was coming here from a Nation of Islam. Nation of Islam was a black nationalist organization which infused a culture using Islam, you see, as a way of silver against white Christianity and the idea of the white God, the white Jesus. So they adopted Islam, you see, a Nation of Islam. The founder of the Nation of Islam, Elijah Muhammad, was a Garveyite, a member of Marcus Garvey's movement, you see. Marcus, in one of the teachings of the Nation of Islam, the white man, you see, there is no other devil under the ground or anything. The white man is the devil, and the black man and the black woman are God. You see, Malcolm X was coming from that organization. The teachings of Malcolm X were that black people needed to respond with violence. We needed to talk the very same language that the white supremacy was speaking. You see, because for ages, abantu abamnyama were using non-violence as a method to respond to white supremacy, marching, picketing in the streets, you see, doing demonstrations and being shot at, being killed. Izinja, you know, zithunyelwa to bite at black men's genitals, bite at black women's breasts off, where's our marches, you see. Black men being killed, shot at in those marches, black women being killed, you see. Ku Klux Klan raping, you know, pillaging black communities, which is why it was abantu abamnyama being bombed, you see. And Malcolm X said that the time for abantu abamnyama, for black people to sit down in silence and marches was over, and that we needed to respond, you know. And when we're talking the language of revolution, you must know that revolution is bloody. On the other side, Malcolm X, was teaching non-violence. Martin Luther King. Martin Luther was talking about non-violence, you know, as a preacher, as a Baptist preacher, you see, you know, using Christian principles, you see, of forgiveness, of love, reconciliation, you know, that, you know, I have a dream that one day, you know, abantwana babamnyama nabamhlophe would hold hands together, sit together. Now you're an integrationist, basically, you see. After Martin Luther King was killed, Malcolm X was killed, the youth in the States rose up and they formed a Black Panther Party for self-defense. That was what it was called. Black Panther Party were these militant, radical youths who wore black, you know. They formed, it was basically a paramilitary organization. Wore black leather jackets, wore black berets, you know, with their panther, with the symbol of a panther. Panther is a cat. It's a cat. It's in the jungle, panther.
Black tiger. Black tiger.
You see, it's a black tiger, basically. You see, it's a tiger, but it's black. When you see it, you know, and it's known for strength and resilience and intelligence. The Black Panther, you see. So they adopted and they called themselves the Black Panthers, and they carried arms. They changed, you see, the nature of the struggle in America, the Black Panthers, because it was for the first time now that black people, using the law as America, there were some constitutional amendments, the gun laws, which gave you, you know, the right to carry arms, ammunition in public. So the Black Panthers used the Constitution as America, and they declared that they are using, you know, I don't know which amendment, to carry, you know, guns. And they carried guns, and whenever any black community was intimidated by police, one of the main issues they were dealing with was the police brutality in the black community. Because abandoned were being killed by police, you see. So they said that the Black Panther Party was formed for self-defense. If police shoot anyone in our community, we will shoot back. We are going to defend our communities. Then they created self-reliance programs. They built schools in the black community. They had feeding programs in the community. You see, they established businesses in Black Panthers in the black community. You see, they promoted of buying black, supporting black businesses, and self-reliance, the principle of self-reliance. Let us depend on ourselves as black people, as a black community. You see, sister. So that was the Black Panther Party. Black Panther Party in German Sicho, it was destroyed in the very same way. Marcus Garvey's movement was destroyed through infiltration, through core intel program, counterintelligence program.